Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to another Behind the Groove podcast. I am DJ Keo.
And I am Basil Barrington, and we are back with another episode of Halo, episode number 7, Inheritance. And IMDb gave this a 3.7. Let me ask you this. Why do you think they gave it, why do you think this is the rating is 3.7? Why?
Well, I think that this was a Quan heavy episode
All
and
day.
very light on Master Chief and
Yeah.
Halsey. And I think those are the two stars, the highlights of the show, like the conflict that's going on between them, or just Master Chief being Master Chief at all.
Right.
Like this is all out of character. He didn't really say nothing. He just stood around and he punched Quan a couple times, and that was this episode. It's like that. I didn't. People want to see Master Chief do Master Chief stuff, driving a warthog, shooting things with a gun. Like that's what they want to see. So like I have an episode on Magical just around Quan. I can see why this was a tough sell for people.
Yeah.
So I'm not surprised by the 3. I'm not
Right.
surprised at all.
And I think the other thing is we were talking offline, and I was telling you that I had been watching YouTube videos of like some of these gamers playing the Halo games start to end.
Yeah.
It's like 6-7 hours, right? And I told you offline, I was like, man, this TV show, they really bitched out like Master Chief.
It's a great divergence from that character.
Dude, I mean, he's all about business. Okay, what's the mission? Let's get it done. He doesn't take his helmet off. He's not emotional, any of that, it's just like, and I'm just like, wow, this TV show, it's totally different. So I actually get what a lot of people are saying in these comments when they talk about the Halo lore. It's just like, no, this is not it.
See, because this is the thing. The TV show made changes to Halo, the universe, that didn't need to be made.
Right.
Like the helmet coming off, you didn't need to do that.
The introduction of kids.
Yeah, the Quan character, you didn't need to do this. This was a choice.
Yeah.
You guys decided we're gonna make this character super annoying, and we're gonna put the world through her eyes. Like, but when you play Halo, you're watching through Master Chief's eyes. That's what people want to see. They want to see his perspective. Nobody was like, you know what would be cool if we got to see like the grunts or some guy that's he's mopping the floor versus Master Chief. No, we don't want to see that. We want to see Master Chief blow stuff up and shoot things. That's what we want to see. Anybody who's played the game, this is why you play the game. Because Master Chief's 8 feet tall and he's slicing mofos. That's what we want.
That's
That's like everyone plays the game for. Doesn't matter if it's girls, kids, boys. It doesn't matter. Everybody wants to see Master Chief slice mofos up. That's it. That's all we want.
Now I understand like how some people get upset about like, them reading the book or, playing a video game and then looking at something on television. Again, someone's total creative process in terms of them taking what was done and adding their own little creative twist on it, right?
Yeah.
But again, Quan is nowhere in the video games at all. She's nowhere in the video games.
He just made it up. But like the issue more so than anything else, as a fan of the series and the games, whatever, all the choices that they made for this TV show were on purpose.
Yeah.
It wasn't an accident or, this is where the storyline took them. They did these things deliberately, which goes in opposite direction from the games and what people want. And it's like, why? Why would you do this?
Yeah,
Not necessary.
Yeah, that's true. The other thing is this, right? So in this episode, it was just all Mandragora. We were talking about this last podcast. We were saying like, oh, well, we know they're going to come back to this, right? So they started the episode. I don't even think we have to give like,
we don't have to go to. We don't have because it's Quan's on Magical.
It's Quan, and you know how we feel. People, listeners, viewers, you know how we feel about Quan. We don't give props to like bratty kids. So she gets no overview. However, I will say this. She probably will have a large role like moving forward. We only have like 2 episodes left, but I don't. Yeah, they need to. It got a 3.7 for a reason, right?
Yeah.
It's a 3.7 for a reason. What's up?
Let me ask you this.
What's up?
What do you think Quan's purpose is for the show. Like, what are they going to make her useful to Master Chief somehow in the next 2 episodes? What's the reason for her being there? What do you think she's going to do?
That's kind of difficult because Master Chief did not Article 72 her because of just like him saying he just felt like, well, this is a kid. Why should I have to kill her? Right? She's she's nothing, right? So I mean, he's always going to be there for her. I think that at some point, this is what I think. I think that she says that she wants to defeat the UNSC, which is ridiculous, right? Come on.
Yeah, like stop it. Like stop.
Okay, you're like 12, you're 13 years old, whatever, right?
Yeah,
So
stop
I
it.
think that what will probably happen is, she got rid of, the dirtbag Venture was, right?
Yeah.
Very, very cool way to get rid of him too. It just like totally got rid of him. And, because she got rid of him. And again, there is something popping off on Mandrigal. We know that there's going to be some like combined episodes, the last 2 episodes that talks
it's gonna be a big battle on
it's gonna be
Magical,
Reach,
sure.
Magical, Home Charity, the whole 9. But I think that at some point Master Chief will say this person, she's let Magical like rule themselves, we'll help them out like militarily, yada yada yada. So I think that at some point
I think you're right on
Magical
that. Yeah.
will be not a colony of the UNSC or Reach or whatever, so but I mean go ahead.
I think that because this episode is about this portal. It's like a well basically in the ground.
Yeah.
I think that Quan is going to end up leading Master Chief to the portal, and that's going to give him either it's going to take him to the Halo ring, or it's going to give him coordinates to the Halo ring. And then that's the last episode is going to be on the Halo ring. That's what I think is going to happen.
Or the portal could take him to, because no one knows where Home Charity is, the portal could take him to Home Charity as well. So
that's possible too.
That may be interesting.
I think that
right?
because they got to get the show's called Halo. They got to get to the Halo ring.
They got to get to the Halo ring.
They got to get
to
the Halo ring. So like it's something about the Halo ray she's gonna help them with, because apparently, one of the keys was on Magical.
Yeah.
There's stuff about the planet that's useful for other things that they don't know about really. So I think it's something connected, because like they had the water thing. They made her drink fire water, which I thought was hilarious. I laughed when I saw that. She
like,
drank fire water.
I'm not afraid. I can drink it. Watch me. Like
that lady.
She was like, "Come on, please."
There's 2 instances when I laughed. When she tried to fight Master Chief, I laughed. I was cackling on the ground, rolling around laughing. And the other thing is that she went to the woods or the desert, right? And she's sitting there and she's yelling at these people. You gotta tell me. And they're like, "You're not ready. You're not ready. You're not ready. You're not ready." You know what? Let me tell you the story right now. Like, what happened to the "You're not ready"?
Come on, it's just like okay, so this is what I'm talking about. You have this like bratty person, like the woman was saying, like, your rage gets in the way of your thinking. And clearly we were saying that, throughout, this podcast, it's like, you're too angry. You can't think clearly because you have a lot of rage in you. You need to understand like what's happening on the ground first, right? Now, I'm not quite sure how she, as a 15-year-old, 16-year-old, whatever, how she's going to build an army and then try to defeat, the Spartans. Basically, that's what she's saying. If she wants to like defeat UNSC, she's talking about defeating the Spartans. Let's not forget.
Yeah, that's laughable.
Right. Let's not forget, in the first episode, the Spartans came down to help Madrigal battle the aliens. So they didn't come there to like Swiss cheese the people of Madrigal. So I don't know what she's talking about, right? She's just talking about something totally different.
Her anger is in the incorrect place. Like, UNSC, as evil as they are with kids, this is not their fight. They don't care about Magical. Magical's irrelevant to them. They realize there's a big Covenant war coming, and they're like, "Oh, we gotta protect everybody here." Crap. Okay, well, we gotta save this planet. So like their focus is completely a different place than it started with. but she's still angry at them. Like, oh, I'm gonna go deal with the UNSC. No, you're not. You're not gonna deal with them.
Yeah.
They have bigger fish to fry right now.
Like
And
you're
she's seen the
small.
bigger fish. And
Right.
she's still worried about this stupid stuff over here. Like, this is dumb.
She,
I hate these kind of characters that are like they got this one focus and
mhm,
the world doesn't like the world revolves around them when it shouldn't. Like this
right.
character should be like, oh damn, there's a bigger world going on right now.
Right, right,
This,
right.
this is a small thing right now I'm worried about.
Right.
Idiots.
Okay. So again, first episode, she's in a battle with the
Mhm.
aliens, and also she saw, the Spartans come down and help them out.
Yeah, yeah.
So she,
But also too, that's the first time she's ever seen the Spartan, and she's realizing, oh, we're outgunned. If these guys came down here to deal with us, we're finished.
come on, and here's the other thing. It's like, okay, so if you defeat the
Mm,
UNSC, the Spartans, you're going to defeat the Spartans.
mm.
Now you have to deal with the aliens.
By
I don't think she
yourself.
she didn't even think about that. It's just like,
Yeah,
hey,
yeah, yeah.
yada yada. Oh, I want to take my planet back. Yada yada yada. It's you know what
Mm.
the story the writers. This is such a ridiculous plot line, which is why it got a 3.7. No one
Yeah, yeah.
likes Quan Han. Han is her real
She's
last name too. But
she's a
no one likes her.
ridiculous character, and
She is
she's not. She doesn't adjust to the reality around her. Like soaring through the whole show is like, dude, you're just a kid. Like you're not gonna do nothing.
yeah
If I wasn't here, they would Swiss cheese you a long time ago, and this would be the end of this episode. So
yep
like, stop running your mouth. Stop acting like you're gonna build up a military force to deal with the UNSC and this Vishner guy by yourself. Like, stop it.
yeah.
He's telling her this entire time, like, stop. You
Mhm.
sound ridiculous right now. And she's still going on, like, I'm gonna go, I'm gonna avenge my father. I'm gonna do this. Like, no, you're not. And I really hope that whoever's left on this planet doesn't decide, you know what, Quan should be leader of this thing. Like you don't know anything.
Dude, come on. It's
You
like, I
don't know how
mean,
like the shipping things for this material, whatever the
like
oil, whatever
supply
you get down the
lines,
ground.
like
You don't know
logistics,
supply
nothing.
lines.
Come on.
You don't know logistics. You don't know where the stuff's supposed to go. You don't
You
know
don't
who's in
even,
charge of it.
I mean, have
You
you
don't know how
even
much the
read your
price is.
constitution?
Right.
Come on.
You
It's
know
like,
anything about how to run this thing. You just like, my dad's like, stop. Like, I would never, if anybody has any sense on this planet, if after this Vishnu guy is finished, all right, and she comes back to the city, nobody in their right mind would be like, you know what, Quad should run this thing. Like, nobody would say that on any planet. Nobody would look at that like, you know what, Quad should run this because their dad was.
you know.
Screw that.
Oh, and the thing about this episode too, I mean, the graphics and the visuals were pretty cool, but there
Mm.
were a lot of ridiculous things in this episode. The first one is this, and we could talk about each of these ridiculous sort of segments in this episode. This
Mm.
episode starts off with Soren at a party on his planet Rubble, right?
We got to talk
Dude,
about the elites on a rubble planet. Like,
dude, the cliff, the loophole, the donut hole, the cliff. I mean, from 2 episodes ago with Quan having a gun to his head, and then
yes.
last episode she appearing as a ghost or like a vision, and then this
Mm.
entire episode being about her, and it just went from her having a gun to his head to him drinking. How did he get off Madrigal? Where did
Okay,
he get the
listen,
ship?
right?
Right?
There's no sense of time here
Yeah.
because so he goes on a mission, steals these slip space drives, and like breaks this guy's leg or whatever, the squirrel guy, whatever the guy's name is. I forgot his name.
Squirrel, squirrel.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
He breaks his foot, all right?
Mm-hmm.
And they get off the thing, and this guy is back on Magical in time. How did she just left? Okay, think about this, right? She
Mm-hmm.
had a gun to his head,
Yeah.
steals his car,
Mm-hmm.
and then drives out to the desert. Sees these whatever the what priestess or whatever village priestess.
They call them
She
desert
drinks
witches.
she drinks fire water
Not
and
knowing what
goes
it
back
was.
to and then gets back to she drives back to whatever that original base was. So Soren left the planet, went on a mission, had a dinner with the elites, got into a fight with this guy, steals the slip space drives, goes back to his planet, and then flies back to Madrigal in this time frame.
Where?
What the
How?
what?
Where'd the ship come from? How'd you get? I want to know how he got off of Madrigal. That's what I want to know.
How
The other
far
thing is
away is
this:
the planet?
Quan is drinking the water. It's just like, you don't know what this is. She could be drinking the Bill Cosby martini or something. You know,
Right?
I'm just like,
Right.
next thing, and also she was getting killed every single time, like
Yeah.
in coming back. You know, so and then here's the other ridiculous thing: Venture, right? He brings a battalion with him to kill a 13-year-old girl. A battalion.
Why?
You mean to tell me you can't get like an assassin, James Bond, you know, the Punisher, you know, someone, you know.
You got a satellite thing of where she was.
Yeah.
And now you're walking around the place like, I don't know where she is. Like, you were looking at the satellite. Shouldn't you be like, have the satellite with her? Like, she's still in the building. And she brought this guy with her. All right, we're just going to throw a RPG rocket launcher in there.
Yeah, where's the Javelin missiles and whatnot, you know?
Right?
It's just like, I mean.
You had a satellite ID where she was.
Yeah.
How did you lose her?
Right. And the satellite even said, hey, they didn't show her face, but they were like, yo, this is Quan Han.
They ID'd her.
Yeah, exactly. So he brought a battalion of men and women with guns, big guns. They had like massive amounts of artillery to kill a girl.
I wouldn't announce that I'm there. And I'm like, oh, she's in that little building thing. All right, cool. Shoot the Peter. Everyone's got space names except Peter.
Right.
All right, Peter. Blow up this building.
Right.
Cool. And we're done.
Dude.
By himself in his spaced out Escalade. He could have done that by himself. He didn't need anybody else. That was ridiculous.
You know,
that's such a dumb thing.
That's a real Cybertruck. That joint looks pretty tough, doesn't it? But
I like the Space Age Escalade. That's kind of cool.
But that's what I mean. You know, I've noticed in this show that there are a lot of cliffs. What I mean by that is you may have like a segment, and then all of a sudden you don't know anything about it, and then it just comes back to life. It fell off a cliff. Or it like, you know, fell in a donut hole or something like that. It's just like,
and then the next episode gets solved.
Yeah, how did this happen? How did he get off of Madrigal? You know, how did he wake up? The vehicle is gone. What did he do? Walk or?
Yeah, like,
it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous.
This is the thing, though, and because you guys got these characters that you didn't need in the first place, now you got to go figure out what to do with them and make them interesting, and you can't. I'm sorry, Halo Riders, you cannot make Quan interesting on any circumstance.
Right.
And you're wasting Soren, because Soren seems like a fairly competent. I like competent characters, right? He seems competent. He can handle himself in the fight. He knows what he's doing in the universe. Yada, he has information. Why would you waste him to just be her bodyguard? That's a waste of a character. This guy could be using a fight somewhere with Spartans or something like that. And other thing I noticed, right, and this is a Halo lore. He got the surgery to make him 8 feet tall, but he didn't grow. What happened? He's got the implants and everything. They cut it. You can see when he took his shirt off. You can see he's got the lines on his arm. He's got the thing on his back. So they did the surgery to grow him. What happened?
But where's his helmet? I keep asking about that. Where's his helmet? He has the armor. Where's his helmet?
That's another question. Why does he only have the top half of his armor and not the rest?
Yeah. You know, he has his armor on with the cape, right? He wears a cape.
Yeah, he's got a big jacket. He's got
what are you, like a trench coat? You know, it's just like, what is this guy?
Batman.
Dude, I mean, listen. Exactly. So you have these characters, these new characters that were introduced into Halo. And I think they did it for a reason, right? You imagine this. We know what the game is. The game is like, turn it on, start, you know, picking up guns and weapons. And it's all about shoot, bang, bang, kill. That's it, right? And then some dialogue, right? But you can't, like, imagine, right? You know, you just can't take a video game and replicate it completely 100% into a TV
you just
show.
The dialogue.
Right, exactly. So, I mean, you know, they could have done something like every episode would have been a new mission. They could have done something like that, because in the game, he's just going through missions, right?
Yeah. That would have been more interesting. I think
that would have been more interesting. But they introduced
It'd be
Quan,
more in line with the
they
theme.
introduced
Yeah.
Venture, they introduced Soren. I mean, Soren is sort of like the action for
He's
me,
unnecessary.
he's unnecessary. The action, the storyline of the last episode, it was a
Mhm.
really good story. Even though there
Yeah.
wasn't like any bang bang, it was a good
Mhm.
story, right? And it was watchable a few times. So now you
Yeah.
introduce this Quan, and it's just like, what is she? How is she important? She has to be important. I keep saying that, but why is she important? No one's
Mhm.
telling us, and then you have these loopholes, donut holes, cliffs, whatever you want to call them. I don't like shows like that. I don't like shows
Yeah.
that take me one place and then take me to another place, but not give me any idea how I
Yeah.
got to this place. If you
See?
look at really quickly, when we were
Mhm.
checking out The Expanse, The
Mhm.
Expanse, every episode was on point. It
Well,
was
this is well
from
written.
it was well written, wasn't it?
Yeah, yeah, it was well written,
You
and the creators of the book were involved in the TV show.
right,
Very
right.
involved, yeah. You could
So
tell because the people who like the books, they love the TV show
yeah. And they're
because
like,
they're
you
like, "Oh,
gotta
this
get
is."
this right. You gotta get this
Yeah,
right.
they're like, "You gotta do the characters right, the
Yeah.
actors they chose, they're all that stuff was good." Like, okay, let me say this about Soren.
What's that?
Soren is a waste of a character because he's supposed to be a Spartan, right? But
Mhm.
nobody fears him like a Spartan, but he
Right.
acts like a Spartan
They call
still.
him a pirate, not even a Spartan,
Yeah, they call him Spartan. Like
Yeah.
this guy's wearing Spartan uniform,
Right. With the
and so
cape.
like he's like he's got the number. He's got 066 on his chest.
For
Like
real.
he looks like a Spartan. He acts like a Spartan, but no
Oh my
one respects
goodness.
him like a Spartan. So like
Nada.
what they should have done, and I think this is a budget reason, he should be 8 feet tall,
At least.
and and I think that as an 8 feet tall Spartan doing what he's doing, the respect thing would be different for how they treating him on the show because he's doing Spartan stuff, right? He's jacking up mofo's, he's Swiss cheesing mofo's, and he's efficient like a Spartan, but he's not 8 feet tall, and so people are looking like, oh, this is a regular dude. That's Soren. He's like wear a helmet, like you see, he should be a Spartan. Like he should be the full Spartan that just left the program. And I think that would have worked better as a character wise, especially in that universe. Like
Right.
him being a pirate, he's 8 feet tall, mofo, just throwing around crates would have been a better thing for him, especially as a pirate. Because now you got this guy like he's rogue,
And
and you
he's
can treat him
vulnerable.
better.
If you
And he's
shoot him, he
vulnerable, yeah,
bleeds and everything else. Someone shot him in the
exactly.
ankle. It's just like,
Yeah.
wow, really? He got
Or
shot in
like,
the ankle.
his Milner armor is like damaged, so he doesn't really have the full thing like he normally would.
Right.
Whatever. Like you could come up with a reason to do it, but like it's a wasted opportunity. That's the thing. A lot of this thing with the TV shows is wasted opportunities. You could have had him like, oh, this guy's a rogue guy and he's gonna go after Master Chief for whatever reason. Like, you know what I'm
Right.
saying? Master Chief's got an equal out there in the universe that's a bad guy.
Yeah.
Something like you could do stuff with it.
Let
It's
me
just
ask
like,
you
nah,
this.
screw it.
It's crazy. Let me ask you this. And we keep talking about where's Soren's helmet. When you put that
Mhm.
Halo helmet on, when you put the Spartan helmet on, right? Are you then connected back to the Reach system? Maybe that's why he doesn't wear it.
No, it's not supposed to. But like,
Hmm.
well, okay, yes and no.
Hmm.
If he left like that, I think that he would be able to turn that stuff off, the cameras and all the sensors, whatever, and
Hmm.
keep what he needed. So like that's not, I don't think that's a necessary thing that he has to do it like that. They could have
Okay.
easily just disconnected the whatever the wireless system is for the cameras or whatever's in his helmet. He could just turn that off.
Yeah.
He's resourceful, all right? He has to know it's there. He should be able to turn it off. Not a big deal.
Yeah,
So
man.
there's no reason why he's not wearing a helmet. There's zero reason.
Yeah, it's like, listen, Spartans, keep your helmets on. We don't need helmets coming off of Spartans, man. It's just,
Yeah, yeah.
again, like I said, I'm not a video game person, but I've been powering
Mm,
through some of these video games on YouTube that some of these people play, start to
mm.
end, and I'm like, wow, these cats they're all about mission. They're all about
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
let's get in,
Yeah,
let's
they
get
not
out.
chit chat.
Nope.
Put some dye in my hair.
No
Let's chit chat. Like, no,
emotions,
no, no.
no having beers at happy hour, nothing like that. They're like, yo,
Just get
this
to
is
work.
it. let's get to work. And
Yeah,
we
yeah.
see that a little bit. I mean, I do like the story a little bit.
Yeah,
I
overall,
know
it's
once
not
we
bad.
do, it's not bad. I think once we do a recap of this, I
Mhm.
there's a few characters obviously that I like, and we all know who we don't like. But
Yeah, yeah.
you
See,
know,
but I think the mistake that the writers made, and again, the self-inflicted, you don't need to humanize Master Chief.
I don't
The
know why they
people
did that.
around him is what you're supposed to humanize.
Right.
Like they're the ones that got to deal with the fallout, whatever he does or what he doesn't do. That's what you should have focused on.
Yeah.
Yeah, Master Chief being a badass, doing badass things, and then the people around him, like, oh, well, what we're gonna do about Master Chief? He could go rogue or whatever. Like whatever you're gonna do with it, you could have done that. But like, keep the allure and the halo, if you will, about what Master Chief is and what he can and can't do. That should be a mystery. You don't know.
Yeah.
You don't know what happened to him. You don't know his backstory. You don't know anything. Like that's what you should have been doing. But they're like, we gotta make it for TV. Like, no, 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 no. Don't do
Yeah.
that.
Like literally for TV. Let me ask you this question and then we'll wrap it up because you said something last
Mhm,
week and I meant to like ask you about that because it was really interesting what you said. During the episode when
mhm,
um when Master Chief locked Halsey into this chamber, into her lab, and then was gonna gas her, right? And then
mhm,
he was telling Cortana, make me stop. And she was like, I can't, I can't, I can't. You alluded to the fact that maybe Master Chief and Cortana are linking up to do something or, work
mhm.
against Halsey. Tell me about that. Why'd you say that?
Well, because I think that as far as Cortana is concerned,
Mm-hmm.
like she's now away from. Well, she's supposed to be away from Halsey and just dealing with Master Chief, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I think that the relationship is going to be better now because he's trying to figure out what his limits were, and that was the point of that whole scene with her is that he's trying to figure out what are the limits of Cortana. What can and can't she do? She can
Yeah.
turn me off if I was going to punch Halsey in the face. All right, cool. What can't she
you know,
do?
like,
Right? Like that's the thing. Like he knows. Okay, she can do this. She can't do this. She's useful for this. She can't. She's useful for. She's not useful for this. Whatever. So like that's why I like. Even though I said that scene goes against everything that he stands for
mhm.
as a character, I was okay with it because like he's like figuring out, okay, this thing's in my brain now. Okay, what's its limits? And let me figure this thing out right now. Okay, cool. And then he's putting the Halsey on notice, like, hey, all right, I may not be able to punch you in the face, but I'll deal with you my own way, all right?
Right, right,
You better
right.
get in line. Tell me the truth. So
See,
like I was okay with that. As far as the
yeah,
TV character goes, I was okay with that. As far as the video game, that is so out of character, it is beyond belief
yeah.
about what he thinks about her, what he's capable of doing, all that stuff, like that. That was wrong, right? But like as a
You,
TV character, I was like, all right, it's cool, all right, it is what it is.
that would have been a much more interesting storyline if you take out Quan, and then
Mm.
the replacement for Quan's storyline would be Cortana starting to
Mm.
question
Yes.
why is there some data that I don't have access to? I know every
Mm.
single thing in the galaxy, but I don't know anything about Master Chief's history. Why? Or
Yeah,
any of the
yeah,
Spartans' history, right? So
yeah.
I think because at one point Master Chief was saying, "Why don't you know that? You're supposed to know everything." And she was like,
Mm.
and she said it in a really concerning way. She was like, I don't know. And I was just like, see, that would be
Mm.
an interesting storyline right
Yes.
there, you
It's
know?
interesting right there.
Yeah.
Like
Because
it's like
it's techie too, it's techie. It's like an AI is like, starting to, I
mm.
mean, this is what AIs do. They learn, right?
Yeah. So like
Yeah.
Cortana would be a better character if she's on Team Master Chief
Yeah.
instead of Team Halsey,
Right.
which is what
Exactly.
she because you when you watch the game, Cortana is Team Master Chief all the way.
Dude, they are linking up like, hey, look out, look, your flank, blah, blah, blah,
Yeah, yeah, she's
two ahead of
helping
you.
him.
Yeah.
She's not Team UNSC. She's not Team Halsey. She's Team Master Chief 100%, and that's why they work together because he trusts her. and he's willing to put stuff on the line and take whatever she had like a hunch about something. Master Chief's gonna be like, "Yo, Cortana said turn right. We're turning right. I don't care what anybody says." Like that's
Exactly.
what I'm saying. Like that's
Right.
what they should have spent more time building up the trust thing rather than making it like, she's a Halsey spy or whatever. Like
Right.
that, they shouldn't have done that.
Exactly.
It should have been
Hmm.
more about making Cortana trust Master Chief and
Yeah.
Master Chief trusting Cortana and working together to solve things and whatever. Like that's what they should have been doing this entire time.
Yeah.
And they did it in a weird way, which was kind of unnecessary.
Hmm.
And then make him turn Master Chief off. Like that was like, no, man, you can't do that. Why would he ever trust her again?
Right.
She's like, she goes rogue. And because she does do that in the game, she goes rogue.
Hmm.
Why would he ever trust her to give her information or do anything if she could just turn him off at any time? Like
That's
that's
true,
weird.
man.
I would never allow that.
Yeah, man, this is okay. So we're gonna wrap this up because this is a Quan episode. And what's your rating, dude?
I think that IMDb got it right. It's a 3. Definitely a 3.
Yeah.
And it's not because like the storyline didn't really move forward. They just added the thing about there's a well and it's gonna be some kind of thing that's gonna help Master Chief. That's all
Right.
they did. For
That's it.
40 something minutes, it was like there's a well, you're gonna help him.
Yeah.
All this thing about I'm gonna take over Magical, all that crap, they threw that away. She's like, I'm not gonna do that anymore. I'm just gonna help Master Chief in the well. So like it was a placeholder episode that was kind of a waste. And Soren got shot 3 times for no reason because you
Yeah.
need to be down there. And Vishner could have easily dealt with her. Like it was a waste episode. Like so, I think three's fair. What'd you rank it? What do you think you're gonna rank it?
Okay. You know, Quan to me is a mess. She gets no love from me because, like I said, I'm not down with bratty kids in serious movies or TV shows. That's a
Mm,
no for me, right?
yes,
I'm giving
I
it a
agree.
1, right? And but I will say this, visually the episode was sick, visually, right?
Yeah, yeah,
But because it was all about Quan, 1 straight up. Anything she's in, I'm not dealing with her like that for real. And people know, the fans who are
mm,
watching this show, they know you took a serious video game, Halo,
mm,
right? With
yeah,
Master Chief Spartans, and you threw in a bratty kid. And I know the Halo people are just hating that. And I don't like it
yeah,
either. So it's just like, no, if she's in the they did an entire episode about her. That episode got a 1 from me. That is it.
yeah.
Well, there you have it. Another episode of the Behind the Groove podcast. I am Basil Barrington.
I am DJ Keo.
Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. And until next time, peace.